ladies and gentlemen, and the soon-to-be physicians of the world, I would like to welcome you all to the August 2014 St. George's University White Coat Ceremony. I would first like to introduce the guest of honor, the Baroness House of St. David's, OBE, who is a distinguished Grenadian and the only Grenadian in the House of Lords. She has had a long relationship with St. George's University, not least through her being on the Board of Trustees of the St. George's UK Trust and also on the Board of Windriff. At this time, I would like to invite Baroness House to the stage.
Lost my voice. I'm just thinking. Can I say good evening, good afternoon to you all while I pay my respects to the members of the podium, to the parents and to the other special guests, and most of all to the students who today are getting into their white coats later on. I was very impressed at the very first white coat ceremony I came to, and although there are many doctors in my family, I'm not a doctor, so I hadn't got the significance, but after so many years now, I think I've got it. So, for me, it's a very special honor to address you this afternoon. Special because a few weeks ago, I was awarded the honorary degree of civil law by this university, and it's an honor I will try to deserve. Showing it to my grandson, he said, "Grandma, most people work for theirs." I think today I'm wearing a very distinguished honor, and I think there's only one other person in the audience who's got one, and that is from St. George's. So Northumbria and St. George's have become my alma mater, whether they like it or not. I'll be there. Now, may I just take a moment to address the students? Students, you've already experienced some time studying the basic medical sciences at SGU. Now you have the opportunity to begin your clinical training in a larger university here in the UK. I feel sure you will be strongly encouraged to take this advantage by combining your clinical training with seeing some of the sights of this beautiful country and the UK, the beautiful country of the UK, and may even venture into Europe. By doing this, you will be ensuring that you can equip yourself for the global world you now will inherit. I urge you, while you're here, to make friends, have fun, but always keep your eye on your end goal. You can make your home country proud of you. Dare I say it? I need to boast a little bit, and I'd like to say that Grenada is very proud of Kirani James, a young man who this year won a gold medal at the Commonwealth Games, having also won gold medal at the London Olympics in 2012. Grenada is so proud of Kirani that I am sure the time will come when some of you sitting here, not only Grenada University, but the whole of Grenada will be proud of you. Make sure that you keep them informed that you are there. Even though you've taken a break and come over here, it won't be leisure time. It will definitely be work time. You may all, I'm sure, have heard this old saying. Certainly anybody from Grenada in this room will have heard it. I heard it so many times. It says, all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. Now, I'm asking you to play a little, but work very much harder than that. And I hope that you'll remember this old lady who stood here and told you that you had to work a little bit. You had to play a little bit, but work a lot. Here you will experience the collaborative work of Northumbria and SGU. Students here will be given plenty of opportunity to enjoy both work and play. You have an exciting challenge before you because you have chosen a noble profession. I know you will be true to the pledge that you will make today. You will be facing challenges with the pledge you're taking today as the world changes. At the moment we have before us in the House a bill. It's not called assisted murder, but it's called assisted dying. And you always have the safeguard, whatever you decide at the time. I trust it will never become law, but should it, that you'll be able to make that choice remembering your pledge today. There are many changes taking place in the National Health Service in the UK. None of the changes should inhibit your learning. I spent a morning here looking at nurse training at the university. I must confess, I came with many prejudices because I believed that to be a good nurse, training on the job was the best way. And I did not believe any other way could be found. I have to say, what I saw here in Northumbria completely dispelled all my fears. I'm happy that I will be able to say when next the National Health Service comes up in the chamber that it was a good idea to have nurses trained, especially at universities, if they're all as equipped and like Northumbria. So take a look at that while you're here. It is absolutely amazing. I was struck, it even smelled like a hospital. I was sure once I was in there that I was in a hospital. I will be saying in the House that the National Health Service is in good hands because I've seen it for myself in Northumbria. With the doctors who've gone through that I have met, with you coming up, with the nursing training, we will have what everyone says is the best thing the United Kingdom has got. Healthcare at the point of need. So I'll be able to say that the National Health Service is in good hands. Whatever lawmakers may try to do to tinker with bits and pieces, in the end, those who perform the role will make sure that it works. I'd like to say now, good luck to you in all that you undertake. I will be in my rocking chair when some of you are qualified, and I will be able to turn the pages of the paper and see the good things you've done. Or perhaps I might even use the computer, who knows? I haven't quite got there yet, but I might even do that and see all the things you have learned from here. And I'd like to take this opportunity of thanking Northumbria very much for collaborating with SGU and giving us the service that we are all very proud of. Good luck to you, and thank you all for your kind attention.
Thank you to our guest of honor, Baroness House for the lovely words to inspire us all today. My name is Dr. Yun Chong, and I'm currently a third-year Associate Chief Resident in the field of psychiatry at the University of Nebraska and Creighton University Medical Center, located in Omaha, Nebraska, and also a proud St. George's University alumnus who could not be happier hosting this event. I would like now to invite the Deputy Vice Chancellor of International Development of Northumbria University, Professor Paul Croney, to the stage.
Thank you. Baroness Howells, distinguished guests, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, and of course, our new students. I am delighted to welcome you to Northumbria University and to the city of Newcastle upon Tyne. This is a very special occasion as we recognize the beginning of your learning journey to become qualified medical doctors. It is good to see your friends and relatives here with you to celebrate the start of your program. I'm sure they are very proud of your achievements and of the path you have chosen. This is now the 7th year we have welcomed students from St. George's University School of Medicine. Since 2007, we have received nearly 1,300 students onto the first year of the Basic Medical Science program, and I'm delighted to see even more of you here today. All of you have chosen to make the care and well-being of others your purpose in life, and in many ways, you epitomize the mission of all universities, which strive to advance knowledge and apply it for the well-being of society. Such a choice brings great responsibilities, and you expect to face substantial challenges. But I'm sure knowing that people and society will benefit from your care will bring immense personal satisfaction and great professional fulfillment. We hope that your time at Northumbria University will help you to develop a new understanding of culture and people, which in turn will contribute to the development of the qualities that are so important to the physician and surgeon. I'm pleased to say that the program now includes selectives at the Queen Elizabeth Hospital in Gateshead, and that the curriculum has been enhanced to integrate it more with current and contemporary health issues. Our academic staff in the Faculty of Health and Life Sciences will help you to develop the intellectual capability and the clinical techniques you will require in your chosen field. But there are many more lessons that you will gain from this new learning environment. Using the clinical skills laboratories at our Coach Lane campus, you will have the opportunity to interact with other health professionals. This will enable you to develop your team working skills, increase your knowledge, and allow you to put theory into practice, a key component to becoming a qualified doctor. You arrive at a university with an ambitious vision for the future. Northumbria is a research-rich, business-focused, professional university. Our ambition is to be a university with a global reputation for academic excellence that provides an outstanding student experience and excellent graduate employment prospects. Our partnership with St. George's University is a clear example of this global perspective. And through the Keith B. Taylor Global Scholar Program, you are a true representation of all aspects of our vision. Northumbria University values its partnership with St. George's very highly indeed. It is through partnerships like this that both universities can develop and thrive in a global world and realize their vision. Your time spent at university in the UK and in the Caribbean will give you valuable international experience before you progress into your clinical placements in the United States, Canada, or the UK. In addition, being part of our diverse student community, you will gain in confidence, insight, and perspective. You'll also make many new friends, and you will have countless opportunities to develop your own interests and personal strengths. We encourage you to engage in our local communities wherever you can. Our award-winning Students' Union leads a program of community action and volunteering, which allows you to support others in countless ways. You may even wish to lend your much-needed support to our local football club, Newcastle United. The first game's on Sunday, by the way. You're at the start of a great learning journey. My hope is that your experience as a student on the Keith B. Taylor Global Scholar Program will be life-changing and exhilarating. I wish you every success in your study at Northumbria University and St. George's. I also wish you every success in your future medical careers. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Paul Croney. Please also join me in welcoming the Senior Associate Dean for Basic and Allied Health Sciences, UK, for the Keith B. Taylor Global Scholars Program, Dr. Robert Jordan.
Thank you very much. I think I'm up here just for comic relief. We have a great panel, a great DS party, and we have great speakers. So I'll spend very little time in my message. I unfortunately missed the opening round of talks on Monday because of a travel delay, but I now have a chance to welcome you officially to St. George's, to Newcastle, to Northumbria University. I normally use this time to make a few witty quips about that and how many welcomes you'll get over the week, but my colleagues have told me that they're not very witty, and I should keep my comments to a minimum. So I will simply say thank you for being here, of course. Do realize you've made a wonderful choice, and we're very happy with the selection that admissions have made for this program. Keith Taylor, bless his soul, would have been 90 years old this year. And had he been here, had he been standing here, he would have been very proud of, one, the university that he helped create, and two, the class that's been chosen to carry on his word. Bless him, and good luck with your progress through our program. See you in Grenada as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Robert Jordan. The Arnold P. Gold Foundation created the White Coat Ceremony in 1993 to promote humanism in medicine. St. George's University's School of Medicine initiated its own White Coat Ceremony in 1996, long before many other U.S. medical schools. In 2003, the Gold Foundation founded the Gold Humanism Honor Society, which is an international society dedicated to the promotion of humanism, professionalism, and ethics in medical practice and education. SGU annually inducts new members into the chapter of Gold Humanism Honor Society. SGU's chapter of Gold Humanism Honor Society envisioned and established the Humanitarian Student Organization in 2009, through which preclinical students can engage in service activities for their communities with support from the Gold Foundation. These 2014 inductees listed in the program are presently doing fourth-year clinical rotations, and we honor their embodiment of the Gold Humanism Honor Society ideals and their efforts to provide humane, caring, and professional patient care. It actually has been 5 years since my own induction into the Gold Humanism Honor Society, when I was a third-year St. George's University medical student. Now, 5 years later, I'm a third-year psychiatry associate chief resident, and I still embody the Gold Humanism ideals by providing humane, caring, and professional patient care. I also remember being in the student's shoes 7 years ago as I received my very first white coat. I remember feeling a mixture of emotions, feeling excited to finally start my medical degree, and also nervous about the hardships ahead. I also remember feeling proud of what I accomplished, and also knowing my family and friends also felt proud of me too. Today is the beginning of your own medical journey with St. George's University, and hopefully this day is a day you will also remember fondly. I would like to share with you my SGU journey and hope to someday hear about yours. I had decided upon SGU as I always wanted to be a public health practitioner as well as a physician. And although I had been invited to interview at a few osteopathic medical schools, SGU was the only medical school that offered me the chance to obtain a dual degree, to obtain my MD and my MPH, a Master's of Public Health. I always thought that I would have to wait until after residency to do global medicine. However, SGU allowed me to not only learn medicine in Grenada, but also complete my surgery rotation in London, United Kingdom, where I met my fiance. Medical school at SGU had also allowed me to travel to many other countries. I had the opportunity to do my public health practicum in Tanzania, where I was also shadowing impressive physicians in a local health clinic, while on other days, I would travel to local rural villages to teach them about the prevention of HIV transmission and water sanitation. I then traveled to Honduras to advocate for patients' human rights on a public health selective, and then to Copenhagen, Montreal, and Jakarta, where I would meet medical students from all over the world on the behalf of the International Federation of Medical Students Association Grenada Chapter. Although SDU had me traveling outside the United States, some of my fondest memories were when I was president of the Orphanage Student Organization in Grenada, where I was a role model for the local orphans. I also enjoyed taking them to the beach every Saturday, which provided the best kind of study break one could hope for. I think of those kids often, especially when I have patients in my office, similar to their age and stories just like them. I also miss the kids and the island so much that I decided to go back to SDU to obtain my master's in business administration after I received my MD and PhD. This time, my visit was only for 2 weeks, but it made it to the orphanages, and it melted my heart when a handful of kids came running to me with hugs, asking, "Miss Yun, are you back for good this time? We really missed you." I'm telling you these stories to let you know that SDU opens the doors of opportunities to live your dream and shape the medical career you have always wanted. I'm saying to get involved, but of course, remember to keep up with your studies, because it's just like any other medical school. You're going to have to work hard for it, but in the end, it will be worth it. The parts you will remember will be the ones in which you realize you made a difference in someone's life, and you don't just want to remember the walls of the library. Well, sometimes you may have nightmares about the library, but don't worry about that. You know, in the field of psychiatry, they have medications for that. And I've got to stay in business somehow. No, but in seriousness, remember to work hard, but also play hard. The happiest physicians are the ones who have the perfect work-life balance. You're now in Newcastle, United Kingdom, probably most likely thousands of miles away from family and friends. But think about it. How many people will have this opportunity to live in another country while studying medicine, travel throughout Europe, buy cheap airline tickets, and next year head to a tropical island of Grenada, where you'll be able to study medicine on beautiful beaches, where other people will pay thousands of dollars to go on vacation to. Then in your 3rd and 4th years, you'll have the opportunity to work in hospitals, not only throughout many cities in the United States, but also in the United Kingdom, Canada, or really anywhere in the world. I could tell you about a story I had in each of the 15 or so cities I lived in, by my choice, during my clinical rotations, but I must leave time for a keynote speaker and for you all, the stars of today's ceremony, to adorn your very first white coats. So in conclusion, study hard, get those high grades and record-breaking exam scores, because that's what will get you into the dream residency of yours. But also remember to be a well-rounded student doctor, because that's what will keep you going in this field of medicine, especially when times are rough. And it's your experiences that will truly build rapport with your patients to help them heal. So congratulations to you all in achieving your white coats today. And every time you put them on, remember the ideals of the Gold Humanism Honor Society: to provide humane, caring, and professional patient care, which will all help you along your SDU journey that we all look forward to hearing about one day. And now onwards to our next journey. I'd like to introduce you our keynote speaker, Dr. Jed Kokorin. Dr. Jed Kokorin qualified at the University of London in 1975. Having spent his student elective at St. Jude's Hospital, St. Lucia, he returned to the Windward Islands in 1979 to spend 1 year working in the General Hospital and at St. George's University in Grenada. In 1990, Dr. Kokorin was appointed consultant to palliative medicine at St. Gemma's Hospice in Leeds, UK. And in 1993, moved to Liverpool to establish a new specialist palliative care team at University Hospital Aintree. In 1998, Dr. Kokorin was appointed lead clinician for cancer services in Liverpool. He has been involved in developing regional and national guidelines for palliative care and end-of-life care. From 1994 to 2010, he was the medical advisor and lecturer at the University of Kiel and Marie Curie Hospital, Liverpool. More recently, Dr. Kokorin has been guest lecturer to the Nordic course in specialist palliative care in Sweden and Finland, and a visiting professor in bioethics at St. George's University. At this time, I would like to invite our keynote speaker, Dr. Kokorin, to the podium.
Jon, thank you very much. I feel exhausted already. I'd like to say welcome to everybody here, and I'd particularly like to thank Chancellor Modica and his colleagues at SGU for inviting me today. This white coat ceremony has been arranged to mark the beginning of your training and studies to become a member of a medical profession. One day, you will become a member of a group that is expected to have responsibilities and duties because you're of a group that has a special knowledge. And it's important to realize that the manner in which you meet these responsibilities and duties will not only be judged by your patients, but they'll also be judged by your fellow professionals and peers. So this is why the fundamental principles underpinning the practice of medicine are emphasized throughout this afternoon's proceedings, and there'll be some words repeated right the way through each talk. But I'd like to begin by congratulating you all for being here today and for committing yourself to your new career. Although a career in medicine is very hard work and can be stressful, it becomes much easier if you actually want to do it. So if there are some difficult times ahead, perhaps it would be helpful then to reflect on today, of the excitement and the enthusiasm that you have today. The why. Why are you here? And if you remember on how on earth you came to this profession of medicine, reflect on today. So over many years, I've been very impressed by the commitment shown by SGU students. You're all a long way from home, and the path you have taken has required a lot of thought and motivation. I first met and taught some students from SGU long ago in 1979, in the early days of the school. Back then, I was a young 29-year-old, and many of the students were of the same age. And I was really impressed by their varied backgrounds. Many had had previous occupations. Others had studied non-science subjects. And some had endured considerable hardship before entering medical school. I've always considered that rather than this being a hindrance to their progress, bringing such a varied life experience to medicine is a great advantage not only to the individual doctor, but also to the profession as a whole. It has been delightful to watch the medical school prosper over all of these years. Of course, this varied experience that a new student body brings to the university continues and is exemplified by you and the Global Scholars Program in Northumbria today. You will have the opportunity to learn from each other about the different health systems which exist across the world. Please share the knowledge that you already have with each other. It's important to never forget that universal access to essential health care is still very far from being achieved, and many people suffer for the lack of basic care. As a group, you have the opportunity to never lose sight of this challenge. The Global Scholars Program will give you the advantage of learning about European systems of healthcare while you're here. And when you move on to Grenada, you will have the further opportunity to see the limitations in healthcare that exist for a middle or low-income country. The reason I first went to Grenada was because SGU employed me to work in the General Hospital in the capital, St. George's. This was an early initiative on behalf of the university to improve the number of personnel in healthcare to help the people of Grenada. And since then, there has been a steady rise in the number of community projects sponsored by the university. And the students are, as we've heard, encouraged to take part in these projects. The good work of these many students is recognized in their nomination and entry into the Gold Humanism Honor Society described earlier. And I hope very much that in the future, some members of this group will be enrolled in the society. We make no apology for emphasizing the high standards of the profession which you aspire to, namely to have an obligation of service to others and to treat the sick to the best of your ability. I'm sure that you're all very keen to acquire the detailed knowledge that you will need to perform your duties. And I guess that some of you will already have your hearts set on one particular branch of medicine. In truth, it won't matter which branch of medicine you will pick or you will eventually practice. What will be important is that you provide patient-focused care in a compassionate way. And as an aside, I'll tell you a little story. I once went to a lecture by an orthopedic surgeon who was clearly passionate about his subject. I didn't know I had an orthopod on the stage when I told this story. But he was waxing lyrical about the beauty of the orthopedic discipline. You could, previously well people, you could sort of fix together again. You could take pain away from severe arthritis. You could make people who are disabled walk. And in many ways, he couldn't understand why everybody just didn't want to be an orthopedic surgeon. And I was quite impressed by this story, and I was sort of talking to a urologist about it. And the urologist looked at me and smiled. He said, well, I'll tell you what, let's wait till this surgeon certainly can't pass urine. Send him to me, and I'll show you how useful a urologist can be. So we can all have our passions, and we can all have our interests, and there's nothing wrong with that. For me, the manner in which we care for the dying is a monitor of our health service, a good health service. And also, in actual fact, is a monitor of how good our society we live in is. And I echo Baroness Howell's comments before. But don't worry, you will receive the in-depth education and training that you do want. But in the early parts of your course, we will revisit these important aspects of obligation, service, integrity, and professionalism. Once qualified, doctors take up a very privileged position in our society. Other people who suddenly acquire labels, patients, relatives, carers, sons, daughters, they all come to us and they share their private concerns and worries with us. They place their trust in us. And they need to be sure that the advice and care that you give will be in their best interests. To give optimal care becomes your duty. But the trust that I mentioned is very fragile, and it needs to be maintained and nurtured. In the United Kingdom over the last 2 years, there has been a controversy which has hit the national press around the standards of care in our hospitals. And this has prompted 2 independent national inquiries. And one of the conclusions in one of the reports, I'd like to quote. It said, perfectly preventable problems of communication between clinicians, patients, and carers were the main underlying cause of the controversy. We have to take this criticism very seriously. We can all become better at communicating with patients and also with our colleagues. It is important for any health professional to be able to elicit the concerns that a patient may want to mention. There is actually a skill to giving the impression to someone that you have all the time in the world, when in actual fact, it's your busiest day of the week. Some of us are naturally good listeners, but we can all become good listeners. We have to listen, and then we have to explain our advice in words that can be understood, and we need to explain the plan of care that we are arranging in different ways. We have to practice the art of medicine as well as applying the science. One of the finest arts that you have or can demonstrate is to be able to take a good clinical history. I was taught that if you had not made the diagnosis at the end of the history, you should keep on talking. The purpose of the examination and investigations is actually to confirm the diagnosis or distinguish the diagnosis from the list of possibilities, differentials, that you have acquired by talking to somebody. That aspect of communication is as important today as it was when I was a student. And I have to tell you, that was long before the invention of MR scans and even CT scans. So to conclude, I've been wondering what advice that I can leave you with at the start of your studies. And over the years, I've had two ethical questions which I've asked myself every time I've seen a patient. I've said, what is my purpose? Which means, what am I hoping to achieve for this person in front of me? And once I've understood what I'm all about, what I have to do, my next question is, so what is my priority? What have I got to do first? Have I got to save their life first? Have I got to speak to somebody first? What have I got to do first? And in what order, and indeed what level of intervention do I actually do? I commend these questions to you. If every person you see, you can answer those questions, you will have developed consistency in your decision making. And if you can answer them satisfactorily, you'll have earned and you will keep the trust that the patient and their family have placed in you at their most vulnerable time. Welcome to the world of medicine. Thank you.
Apologize for that. Dr. Kokorin tried to steal my thunder. Well, thank you, Dr. Kokorin, for those inspiring words. To welcome each of you to the medical profession, St. George's University School of Medicine will now present you with a white coat symbolizing your entry to the profession and your commitment to uphold the duties and trusts associated with medicine and medical training. I would like to introduce you to our robers. Along with myself and Dr. Jed Kokorin are our fellow physicians, Mr. Paul Benskowitz, orthopedic surgeon at Queen Elizabeth Hospital, Gateshead, and Dr. Shubhra Barua, assistant dean of students, St. George's University. We will now begin robing the students. In recognition of our international enrollment, Dr. David Holmes, Associate Dean for Basic and Allied Health Sciences UK for the Keith B. Taylor Global Scholars Program, will call each student by name and state their country of birth. Please hold your applause until all students have been robed. For safety, we ask the audience to kindly remain seated.
William Preden, New York, USA. Cameron Suarez, Florida, USA. Paul Dang Ho, Ontario, Canada. Stephen Shrestha, Ohio, USA. Jonathan Rubenstein, Ontario, Canada. Marie Brown, Michigan, USA. Jonathan Lee, Ontario, Canada. Robert Kasalka, Ontario, Canada. Kevin Kwan, British Columbia, Canada. Jefferson Lee, Ontario, Canada. Joseph Vu, California, USA. Huidi Shushcheng, China. Vishwajit Tamaya, Ontario, Canada. Brinlin Pitt, Ontario, Canada. Youngchan Kwan, Republic of South Korea. Sean Levy, Quebec, Canada. Tachapon Sangwatinarat, California, USA. Michael Romani, Ontario, Canada. Aqib Abid Nurani, Dubai, United Arab Emirates. Cernan Kenth, Ontario, Canada. Janesh Patel, New York, USA. Silgi Kataria, New York, USA. Prihe Ansari, Ontario, Canada. Iqra Aftab, Ontario, Canada. Adriana Machilian El Yamuni, Venezuela. Chenen Xizia, Taiwan. Ryan Khan, Ontario, Canada. Nadia Solomon, New Jersey, USA. Adrienne Chang, Ontario, Canada. Naveen Suknanan, Quebec, Canada. Mena Mateas, Manitoba, Canada. And Shena Singh, British Columbia, Canada. Gaurav Agarwal, Ontario, Canada. Michael Tamani, New York, USA. Ryan Toes, Alberta, Canada. Tajinder Desai, British Columbia, Canada. Georgios Michalopoulos, Ontario, Canada. Gaston Habib, Lebanon. Aminda Johal, British Columbia, Canada. Neelay Patel, Texas, USA. Maximilian Solo, Ontario, Canada. Stephanie Choka, Alberta, Canada. Daphne Bewley, Quebec, Canada. Megan Hopping, Ontario, Canada. Zoe McKinnell, Ontario, Canada. Kritika Subramanian, Georgia, USA. Adam Mann, Florida, USA. Jenny Mallet Jerome, Haiti. Lene Edwards, Bahamas. Sasha Lake, British Virgin Islands. Rana Rodriguez, Manitoba, Canada. Marina Sidred, Jersey, Manitoba, Canada. Grace Nasri, Ontario, Canada. Jit Pun, Newcastle, United Kingdom. Prityal Upadhyay, California, USA. Dalin Lindahl, California, USA. Nathaniel Kelly, British Columbia, Canada. Natasha Borsellino, Quebec, Canada. Andrew Schliemann, Ontario, Canada. Rodney Techrub, Alberta, Canada. Peter Boshara, Ontario, Canada. Jason Latsky, Quebec, Canada. Anita Akavan, Ontario, Canada. Megha Sharma, India. Gillian Richmond, Alberta, Canada. Renee Wong, Ontario, Canada. Jessica Lynn Welton, Ontario, Canada. Paige McCleary, California, USA. Jaskarit Puriwile, California, USA. Emily Soiland, California, USA. Nina Nakareka, Ontario, Canada.
I remember my white coat ceremony, and I was the very last one to get adorned with my white coat, and I thought it was going to take forever, and I thought the sun would go down by the time we finished, so it's a good, it's a quick one here at Newcastle, United Kingdom, so I really appreciate that. All right. I ask the students and all doctors present to stand and recite aloud with me the professional commitment listed in your program. Today is the beginning of my medical education and training as a physician. I acknowledge my responsibility to continue the pursuit of knowledge and understanding until that day when I will cease to be a practicing physician. I am entering training for a noble profession in which my interests must always be subservient to those who may seek my assistance. I must be ever conscious of the value of my fellow health professionals and treat them with respect at all times. My classmates at St. George's University are now my colleagues, and I owe to them the same support and encouragement to achieve their goals as I hope to receive from them. I will work alongside my colleagues and professors with tolerance, compassion, and honesty. I acknowledge my obligation to adhere to the University Honor Code and to conduct myself with integrity in an ethical manner at all times henceforth. I shall do all within my power to show in myself an example of all that is honorable and good throughout my medical career. It is a privilege to have been given the opportunity to become a physician. May I ever be conscious of that privilege and never abuse it. Please be seated. On behalf of St. George's University, I would like to thank the Arnold Gold Foundation for the Humanism in Medicine pins placed on each student's white coat. I would also like to thank all students, families, St. George's University faculty, staff, and administrators for your support and presence at this ceremony. I would like to cordially invite all of you to attend a reception and escape right across the hall immediately after the ceremony, in honor of today's recipients of the white coats. Once again, it was my absolute pleasure and honor to be part of this white coat ceremony. Thank you again for coming. I ask that you please be standing for the dais party exits, followed by the students.